Welcome to Jack Howard Color, the podcast. Today's guest is Carlos Rojas, and Carlos is in Dallas, Texas. He entered the industry slightly older than most of us start in that, done phenomenally well, expanded his salon into a free working space. He's making his name on TikTok and on Instagram. It's absolutely hilarious. Come join the fun. Welcome back to Jack Howard Color, the podcast. Today's guest is tons of fun, a barrel of energy. I met him at BTC last year. We've met online. We became Insta buddies. Carlos Rojas, and I've been practicing his name because my Spanish isn't so good. But Carlos is in Dallas. He's a salon owner. He has a great story that hopefully he's going to share with us today. Welcome to the show, Carlos.
Thank you, Jack Howard. I don't think it works the same, but I think you did a great job with my name.
Well, we did do 5 takes before we started, so you know.
Well, I was telling everybody, I was telling Jack that he added a couple of vowels and consonants to my name. It was changed from Rojas to Riojas to Rahuas to
the Real Housewives.
To the Real Housewives. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you too, Carlos. How's your day going?
It's going pretty well. How's your day going? Any have the flowers and chocolates been just piling in, just constant deliveries?
The only pile in my house is laundry, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. So
I don't
Carlos,
believe it.
Go on. You must believe it, honestly. No flowers from anybody. Thank you.
I just think that I've heard stories, and I know you're trying to move on, so I won't say anything, but you were quite the Casanova. I know. I've heard stories. So listen. You can be a proper English rose all you want, but
I am an English rose.
We know the truth.
Well, thank you for revealing my sordid past. Now let's get on to the real deal through here. So Carlos, tell us about your story, because your story is really interesting. I think that you came to hairdressing a little bit later on in your working career, and what sort of drove that? And how did you go about it?
I didn't want to be in restaurants anymore.
And that's what you were in?
That's where I was in. I was one of those kids that growing up, I was good at many things. And I was able to do most things well. So when something I couldn't do frustrated me, I just stopped doing it. But most of the time, if I did something, I could do things pretty well. So I was never one of those kids that knew exactly that one thing they wanted to do. You know, like I had some friends that were like, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a vet. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to, I was like, I have no idea. So my story was I went through the whole thing. What in the US, what we do is, when you go high school, you do college, and that's really what you're supposed to do. So I just went ahead and did that, but never really, still, I thought maybe that inspiration will come to me of what I want to do. So in the meantime, restaurants are the typical thing that you do, in school. You become a waiter. And with my personality, it was a good fit.
Right.
So what happened?
You're good with people.
Good with people, which I still believe everybody should be required to work in a restaurant at least 6 months of their life. I don't know. I think I learned so much in restaurants. I learned about conflict resolution, managing people, managing your time, multitasking, incredible. But back to what I was doing. So when you're in restaurants, you can also go into fine dining. And so I was in fine dining. And what happens in fine dining is that if you are good, they promote you and promote you and promote you, and you just keep on getting promoted. It was an easy lifestyle. It was good, decent money, but in the end, it wasn't my passion. So, you know, my mom was a teacher, so she was an elementary school teacher for 25 years. She retired, and I said, I got to make a change. I have to make a change. I want to either finish my degree so that I can become an elementary school teacher, because I love elementary education, and or I'm going to go to hair school. And
where did hair school come from, though, Carlos? I mean,
it was a back burner thing. It was something I thought about for a while, but I had my own self-hatred wrapped up into that. I didn't want to be the stigma of another gay hairdresser.
And that could be a song, couldn't it? That could be a song. Another gay hairdresser.
Another gay hairdresser. That should be a good musical.
Yeah.
So that was my own internal homophobia, and my own, you know, it was pretty deep, actually, if you think about it. Because I thought I love beauty industry. I love anything to do with enhancing what somebody has inside. And but I did have that in mind. What is my family going to think about me being a hairdresser?
I think that's really interesting, because I think that not many people really talk about their own internal. Not a lot of gay men talk about their internal gay homophobia, and I, for one, certainly felt ashamed of what I did at one point. Do you know what I mean? Because you go out and people, what do you do? And you'd be like, I'm a hairdresser, or I'm just a hairdresser, or I always laugh now and say I'm just a colorist. But in that joke, there was a point in my life when I was just very uncomfortable about it, because I felt that I suddenly was just every single stereotype you could be.
Isn't that interesting? I felt that way before I became it. So it was what I've heard said before. It was contempt prior to investigation of like, I'm not going to like that lifestyle, and I'm not going to like doing that. I shouldn't even do it. So, but you know, I met my partner, and my partner really helped me. He was and still is a very successful, well-known hairdresser in Dallas. And so he was like, I'll mentor you to get you to a hair school and the business side of it, and really how I became successful. But he doesn't do color. I'm a colorist. And he does, you know, he's known for his haircuts and his extensions. But so what I did with hair color and my Instagram and my TikTok, I did only because I had his guidance of those fundamentals of business. And he was the one that really, even though he's my partner, he did mentor me, because, you know, he came from where, you know, the hairdressers were rock stars. You know, he assisted Guy Mascalo. He was in that whole Tony and Guy 90s, you know, 80s and 90s, you know, where hairdressers were rock stars, and their TikTok and their Instagram was nightclubs and going out and networking, and that was what they did. So it was very pivotal for me to learn from that, so that I can do what I do.
Let me take you back a little bit before we get into the wonderful world of TikTok and Instagram. So you were dating someone who's your partner, who was already a successful hairdresser, who already had a great career, is having a great career. And he was going to mentor you through beauty school as well as going to it. How did it feel walking into that classroom on the first day of school as a more seasoned member of life? You know,
is that because I'm Mexican? I'm seasoned and spicy?
No. No. Seasoned as in aged. Seasoned as in aged.
Is that because I'm spicy and picante and like salsa?
I tell you, you just don't like the word aged, do you? So
I don't.
How did that feel?
When I walked in there, and it was that first day of actually being in school, you look around and you think, it's come to this. This is, first of all, everybody knows whether you're 18, 28, 38, 48, 58, 68, starting hair school, it seems like that first day seems like this journey of it's never going to end, because it's just this insurmountable for me in my head, thinking about every day with these younger kids, because I was 31, thinking, can I do this? Like, can I mentally
navigate this? Yeah.
Spiritually do this? And nothing changes if nothing changes. So I had to make a change to have a change. So I had to do it.
You did a post on that recently about going back at 31 to school, hair school. And I think it resonated across, I think it went viral. It resonated with so many people because we as an industry are struggling to attract young people. We're struggling with the way in which we are portrayed, yet we don't always welcome older people into the fold that want to go back to school. It's sort of this weird conundrum when actually somebody who's had some life skills out there, I mean, you'd worked in service industry already, brings to the table all that information and is clear about what they want to do.
I did. I don't think me at 21 could have had the career that I have now.
Yeah.
I wasn't, for me, I have met so many young, talented hairdressers that have this successful business that actually do the hair and not just the posts. And the 21-year-old that I was, would not have been able to do what they do. So for me it showed up in the time of my life that I could appreciate what I have.
Right. So you got through beauty school, right? You get that piece of paper, whoa, I have license to practice. And you and your partner started working together. Yes.
And wow. Let me tell you that is not the best. I was not liked because I did. I mean, I can't give anybody the same advice that I took. You can't say, hey, why don't you sleep with the boss and that'll get you this great career. It just so happens. And I'm still with obviously that was a long time ago and we're still together. But it was, I wasn't, people didn't reach out their hands and welcome me and say, we've needed you. Thank you so much. I had to really kind of pave my own way with that. And so the funny part about that is, okay, so you're in this salon of leasers, booth renters, basically, in this large salon. So they're not commissioned people. So they've been in the industry for a long time. They're seasoned and have great clientele. And when I had the best piece of advice that I could give to somebody is what I did, which was make the silliest Instagrams or take the silliest TikToks in that time that you have time to do it, because I didn't have clients. I had so much time on my hands that I had, but the best thing is for me to be in the building. So I went there still, 9 to 5, but I just kind of walked around, see if anybody needed anything. I was the worst assistant, just not a good assistant. But
Why? What was it? What was it that you didn't do properly as an assistant?
Why wasn't I a good assistant?
Yeah.
Okay, when I did go to school, I was a theater major, and I like the spotlight. You see, that's the problem with me, is I love the spotlight. So it was hard for me to help. Now I can do it. I can help my assistants to help them, lift them up and help them. But for me, assisting, I was terrible. You can ask him. I was terrible. Anyways, but I did try to make content, and if you're in a salon setting where they don't necessarily embrace that, it can be difficult. And they didn't necessarily. I was that one where, like, what is he doing? What is he doing now? It was kind of just like, whatever. But I kept doing it because it also brought me joy. So I kept doing that. And so for my biggest piece of advice is, if you are in cosmetology school, coming out of it into assistant program, apprenticeship program, or you're fresh on the floor and you're just like sitting there like this, is to take that time, because you're never going to get that time back, because hopefully you're going to be a super booked hairstylist and you're going to be doing these really cool podcasts, and you're not going to have that time on your hands anymore.
How did Carlos get busy?
So the consistency was the main. You can be brilliant, you can be talented, you can be funny, you can be incredibly good looking. I am all of those things, right? But if you're not consistent, if you're not going to show up, you're not going to get busy.
Right.
So you can be, the smartest person doesn't necessarily become valedictorian of their school. It's the person that puts in the work. And one thing about me is that I do work a lot, and my consistency has helped me. I've had my ups and downs personally with things, and I talk openly now as I've gotten older about substance abuse that I had and that I have, that I work on every day. And you can't be consistent if you're a practicing alcoholic, or if you're not sober. For me, I couldn't be consistent. So that really had to be really the base of everything. But really, that being consistent gave me the ability to earn the trust of my clients, the clients that I did have, to be like, well, he shows up and he does good work when he shows up, and so they're going to tell somebody else about that. And then really getting more actual content on my Instagram, and you've told me that before too, actual like hair content. And there's other people that like Wes does hair that's said it, where he'll take one model, take a whole bunch of pictures, different videos, different angles, and keep posting it, because he didn't have very many clients starting out. So just kind of, this angle and that angle and this angle. So
a lot of people come on here and they talk about how they utilize one person over and over again, and get as much content from that person, and the struggles of being a busy stylist trying to make content out of your busy day. And it's nice to hear the flip side of when you start out and you're not busy, to use that time wisely, right? Because we're talking about a career. We could all go home and watch Netflix. We could all just, disappear and go shopping or something. But actually, to utilize the time constructively for your future benefit is basically what you've been saying you did.
And it really is for me, the difference with me that I've found, in the difference is just a slight change of perspective. We're researching constantly, whether we know it or not. Mm-hmm. When we're on our phone, scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through TikTok, I'm researching. The thing is that if you look, I look at everything in a business. How can I make this benefit me? And how can I make this increase my business? And how can I use this? So if you look at Instagram, if you're just scrolling on TikTok and you're not thinking of it that way, and you're just doing it just to do it, that blows my mind. Because every time I lay in bed and I'm going through all my TikToks, I think, oh, that's cute, but I can't use that for hair. That's really funny. Or I can't use that for hair though. Oh, I can totally make this about foiling. That's hysterical. And then I'll do that. And then I'm like, oh, he's hot, but can't use that, but I always
reimagining and repurposing.
Always. And I'm thinking that's a great angle. I could try that on my next model. Or I love how they did this video, so it's just all about having a mindset.
Now, I really do want to get to Insta, but I just want to carry on the salon story a little bit more. I want to hear more about that. The salon is beautiful on Instagram. It's absolutely beautiful. How many seats is it? How many chairs is it?
We have about 12. So right now we have 10 stylists, and we would love 2 more, but we're not a commission salon. So the thing is that I love about that is, as a salon owner, we have the ability to let people have their own business and really self-manage. And my partner loves doing booth rental as well. So that's what we have. And whenever he had a really successful salon for about 15 years, and that's where my journey started. And it was about 25 chairs. It was huge. And so he sold to his business partner and said, listen, you're just starting your career and it looks like you're doing pretty well with it. That was my biggest fear. What if I went through hair school at 31 and I just sucked? That would be awful. So I was actually pretty good at it. And he said, let's just get a small studio. And, an 1,800 square feet is not, sounds big, but it's actually not big for Texas. 1,800 square feet, just 4 chairs, me and you work. We'll have one more, Tina, who is still with us, an extension specialist. This was 4 years ago. And Greg, who was my partner's assistant, and he was like one of the only people from that salon that believed in us and came with us. And that's it, no more. And we just have a small little operation. And I said, great. What happens is that he's created such a name that people started coming like, can I come work with you guys? We're like, okay, but come work with you guys. And then this beautiful global group hairdressing, which is really only 1,800 square feet. And the way we wanted to do it was inspired by a European apartment that was just found. And then we decided to work there. And then my color started doing he's the one that told me to start doing Instagram. And I didn't want to. And my color started blowing up and my video started blowing up. And he was like, let's expand. And so, we expanded to another 1,800 square feet where we have like the color bar by Carlos' side.
Yes.
And now it's this big 3,600 square foot beauty. So, we hosted our first big class this past weekend.
I saw that was on Insta.
Great.
Yeah.
Three amazing colorists, colored by Maddie, Hair by Danny and That Hair Magic, Julie, came, and it was amazing. So many people from the industry came, and there's 60 people here, and we had a great time, and everybody loved the space, which was, Eric Vaughn.
Yes.
Eric Vaughn and his hair,
I know. I saw your post with his hair on your head.
And I smelled, and I the first thing I did was smell it because I wanted to see what it smells like. It smelled expensive.
Yeah.
It smelled expensive.
I wanted to congratulate you on opening up the color bar. I mean, I have messaged you and congratulated you on it, but it's just a terrific move forward, isn't it? I mean, it's a beautiful looking space, and I can tell that color's a passion of yours anyway. And to be able to kind of take that passion and actually make something physical in it is superb. So well done on that. And the creative space, I love the idea of that, because I think that even if you are independent, it's really important that you have a community. And so often if you go into a suite, you can be just on your own in there unless you go out the suite and knock on somebody else's door. Or if you're working from home, it's very much on your own. It can be incredibly isolating, which I think is dangerous. Whereas in these sort of working spaces, these co-op working spaces, everyone's there to help each other if you've got the right people. And I think it's about picking the right people, isn't it? That want to work independently, but want to work together.
I think you hit on the head, though. For me, isolation personally and professionally is not good for me.
No.
I probably shouldn't be alone with myself for very long. So I really love the idea of having a core group of people that you trust around you, but not just having people for the sake of people, but having the core group around you. You don't have to have that salon drama. We do not have salon drama. I know that you might have heard that from other people, but there is not salon drama. I mean, there is if you grab a clip that you shouldn't have grabbed, but there's not. We're so lucky. No, you know what? It's not even about luck. It's not about luck.
It's picking the right people, working hard, and chasing for what you want and developing what you want. I personally think salon drama always starts in the staff room, which I call the room of low earners. And it's always the people who are unhappy in their life who then decide to project it onto everyone. And to me, get rid of those people if you can. I mean, if you're one of those people, go and have a good look at yourself, because it's like a disaster. So I know I really do want to talk to you about Insta, and this is where we're going to go now. So Instagram.
You said that 3 times. You said that three times already.
I felt like you hadn't told the story that I wanted to hear. And now I feel like you've told me the story, Carlos. So you're terrible. You'll be cut off after 40 minutes. Now, Instagram and TikTok. So usually it seems like it's either Instagram or TikTok for people, and they do well in one and not so well in the other one. And I think that is also about content, isn't it? You put in what you put on Instagram, on TikTok, it doesn't necessarily work. But you have done really well on TikTok, with over 1.5 million likes. You've got some viral videos over the 2 million mark.
I have a 2.4, 1.5, and 1.3. And
I hope they're pinned to the top of the page.
Baby, they're pinned.
Well done. So let's talk about TikTok rather than Instagram for a minute. Tell me about TikTok. How did you navigate TikTok? Right, it's quicker. It's
quicker. It's so fun.
I love TikTok.
I know. You told me one time we were talking, and you're like, "Okay, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna get on TikTok now." See you later.
2 hours later, I come off. Right, exactly.
2 hours later. It's fun for somebody like me that is a little ADD kid grown up. It's little mini movies. They're tiny little movies that you just go. You don't like one, you just scroll. You like one, you like, and then more of those come. It's amazing. But for me, I heard about TikTok and I thought, well, this looks fun, but I don't know. But then if you look at TikTok as an Instagram, you can't. TikTok is a little bit more of organic, and it's silly, and TikTok sometimes doesn't make sense. So what I mean by that is, on Instagram, you see a pretty picture or you see a well-done video and they get a lot of likes. On TikTok, you see something really stupid and you think, and it has 7 million likes, and you see something that somebody has put in time, effort, money, get maybe 100 likes, and you think that doesn't make sense, but it's what grabs you. I think TikTok just grabs you. The thing about TikTok is I'm waiting for them to make it where it's like Instagram, where you can monetize it. And really, I mean, you creators can make money off of it, very little, but you know, the Instagram shops, the TikTok shops, you know, how are companies, when companies start figuring out how to do that, that's, I think, where TikTok is even going to go further.
I bought things off TikTok already, actually. I bought a tracksuit off TikTok, and it's one of my favorites. And it's all nylon. If I go into the heat, I'll probably go up in flames. But I mean, I loved it. Is TikTok where you found obviously you've got a great sense of humor. You always make me laugh. Even on my darkest day, I know that if I speak to you, I'm going to giggle. But is TikTok where you found your funny voice for online?
Yeah, TikTok is really where I found my, I found a way to be creative and also give something back in a way to the hair industry, to where I honor them by creating content for them. So I don't necessarily create content for our clients. I create content for the hairstylists themselves.
Hairdressers, right.
Hairdressers and estheticians and makeup artists and anybody else really in the service industry. And I want to do that. And I love getting the messages of, you know, this quarantine, I haven't been able to work for 3 months, but thank you so much for making me laugh, or thank you for showing how silly we can be, you know. But I think, like I've said to you before, really keeping it on me and not on a client, or not bashing another hairdresser, is really, really, as long as you keep it on your side of the street, it works.
Yes, because we've talked about it, haven't we? Because I think that's been a very hard line for our industry to go down, because people, when anything goes viral or gets a lot of likes, there's this rush, isn't there, that you feel personally from it. And you know, then there's suddenly like, let's get that rush again. It's like a high. And by going down the route of comedy, it's very easy to veer into actually just taking the mickey, taking the piss, being rude about clients, which might appeal to some hairdressers, but actually I think it lowers the tone of our industry. But you've been able to navigate that and take the piss out of yourself and characters that are in the salon without it being rude. And I think that's a really tough one.
Yeah, I don't know what taking the piss out of something means, Jack, but
well, that's just for my English audience. But taking the mickey, joking about...
I don't know what taking the mickey. First of all, taking the piss means peeing on yourself. Taking the mickey is getting roofied at the club.
Oh, okay. What else can I think about? Taking the mickey, laughing at, poking fun at.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. You know.
So it is. I love, my favorite messages are, my kids and I watch your TikToks at night. And I love that. And if you notice, I never choose music with anything, with really anything foul in there, anything where it's saying anything racially motivated, or I never cuss in my Instagram or in my videos at all.
Me too. I'm the same as you. Yeah.
I don't think it's smart, and I don't think it's a good business move. And also, I have somebody has reposted me, a major reposting hair page, and they without, and I did believe them, but there was a song that I specifically chose at this specific time because there was a really racially bad word right before that was in the song. And when they reposted it, they moved it just a little bit and that word was in there. And so I messaged them right away. I was like, this needs to come down. This is not me.
Yeah.
This is not. So I'm very, very protective of that.
And did you find that TikTok fed your Insta? I found that if something went viral on TikTok, it fed my Insta, which was a great business decision too.
Well, there's a lot more people. It seems like there's a lot more people on TikTok. And so I don't know. I hate to admit, I really don't know how social media works like that. Like, how are there more people on TikTok than there are on Instagram? But why I say that is that I started making really TikTok, which was kind of the underdog or the one I didn't take seriously because it was just kind of fun. I made that where I post first, then I repost to Instagram. And then what was really silly that I never realized is that my Instagram name and my TikTok name were different. And I'm like,
no.
How are people, because I didn't take TikTok seriously.
Cardinal sin,
so
right?
I was like, how are people supposed to find me? And I know that sounds obvious to you, a very smart, educated person, but for me, that brought themselves up from the trenches of South. Where are you from? Where'd you say? Where was it?
The Lincolnshire Fens. The Lincolnshire Fens.
That just scratched and clawed their way out of the
fens, right?
Yes, to buy nylon tracksuits on TikTok. But really, I had to go back and go, oh, I need to make my TikTok Color by Carlos. And that way it does. And listen, I still can have 1.4 million views on a TikTok video and it have 20,000 views on Instagram. And I can have one Instagram video blow up and 4,000 views literally on TikTok.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Two different audiences for sure.
Do you change your do you make content for both separately? I know that you intermix some of it. Is any of it designed specifically just for TikTok, or do you use it on both platforms?
I try to make it cross. Right. I do, because I find that I've had company hair pages that are super successful and visible on Instagram reach out to me and want me to help them with TikTok because they're struggling to become what they are on Instagram.
Yeah.
So if you want to be reposted still where it's more people will see it as far as the hair industry people, I suggest doing TikTok just to get it out there, but reposting your TikTok to Instagram, because that's really where the big repost pages are built up bigger for now.
Yes.
But that'll change.
That's the fear, isn't it? The fear is that, and it's always the fear with any platform, that you're successful on the successful one, but then what happens when the new one comes along? And there will always be a new one. There will always be a new one. So
that's why I commend you, because when I met you, you know, what did you call me? Seasoned? You were seasoned. You're seasoned.
I'm really seasoned.
But different with like chamomile and different things. You're seasoned with different things, right? But you are, I think for you, and I don't want to speak for you, but the biggest fear for me is to not be relevant.
Yes.
And not be relevant. And so as that's older in the industry, to be where you are and be relevant in the forefront for these decades is, I tell everybody I look up to you. I don't tell you because I don't want to promote the Jack Howard.
I don't want to be obsolete. And I think that one of the things about doing something like this, these kind of podcasts and these kind of interviews is really about showing people how other people have done things and how you can be successful at stuff and how you can fail as well, right? There's nothing wrong with failing. You talk about that quite openly on your Instagram page as well. And so that people can see that we are humans trying to navigate the path of life as well as the path of our hair industry, right? Which we love. We love what we do. I want to ask you this question. There's the meme. Is it called a meme or memeing?
It's a meme.
Meme.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's called meme.
Okay.
It's called meme.
You know, Carlos, I should never believe you, right? Okay, so this is meme. It's a meme. Meme of you holding a piece of cardboard, right?
Yeah.
Meme. It's meme. Thomas told me it's meme, right? Holding a piece of cardboard. Was that originally yours, or was it something you repurposed? Because everywhere I go, you're doing it.
Yes. So, okay, so there's the famous cardboard sign guy from New York. This guy with this really handsome guy, younger guy, kind of look. Who's your producer?
Thomas.
Who's your producer?
Thomas.
Woo!
Tom, you're getting a mention, mate.
Have you guys seen Thomas? My God, the jawline, the lips. Am I right? Anyways, a great looking guy holding the sign, the cardboard sign, and he was famous. He got taken to the Super Bowl, all this stuff. So that's the originator.
Okay, so I didn't know that.
Yes, he did that. But I remember I taught a BTC university class, and I was like, oh, that's right. I was going to make a cardboard sign guy version of that for hair. So I grabbed my assistant right afterwards, and I grabbed my dog.
It's the dog.
And I said, and I was like, let's go take the picture. And so that one, I just post, paste, and and it's done pretty well.
That's done really well, because I noticed that you changed the signage in it for a few things, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Well done on that.
It's everywhere.
That's clever.
Yeah. And people still ask me, you know, where's Ava? Where's Ava? And I'm like, Ava's at home. If you want to get your hair done, or you just want to ask about Ava.
So you bring in to your Instagram, you really bring in your personality. A lot of people shy away from bringing in who they are. You bring in a little bit of your private life, not too much of it, but you bring in a little bit of who Carlos is. Obviously the dog's in there, all of that stuff, and you bring your sense of humor into it.
Jack, that's not a dog. That's not a dog. That is
Princess.
that is a dog. My daughter.
Your child. Your child.
My child. Yes. Okay. So much.
Do you? I'm so sorry about that. Let's correct that. Did did you find that hard to bring in more of your personality into it, or was it something that you did that was calculated, or is it just really who you are?
No, it is who I am. And the thing is, that's a really good point, because I met very well-known hair influencers that I will meet somewhere and I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm Carlos and nice to meet you. And they're so painfully shy, or they are just don't know really how to speak to people. And that is not a prerequisite for being on social media. Being a personality-driven account is not necessary. It's just what I like. And I really have to, it didn't begin that way, but when I got my account hacked a year and a half ago, I was so over it. I was just like, you're obviously upset, but it made a more authentic account come out of it. And now I have this incredibly authentic account, and I have 3 times more the followers that I ever had on my old account when I started being authentic. So it was really funny because, I'm the type of person, though, that throughout my school and work history, they're like, we're going to need less of you. Like bring it down a little bit, So for me to show more of me wasn't difficult. It was how to show more of me in a appropriate business-focused way. Everything is calculated for sure. There is not, I'm going to do this for the sake of doing it.
No, I like that. I like that story too. The fact that your account, not that your account was hacked, but I like the story that out of that came this better thing. What are you looking at? What are you looking around the corner for?
I don't know. I do weird things sometimes where I'm not even, my dog's right here, but sometimes I'll just kind of like, I don't know why. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's all right. It's okay. I wanted to conclude the chat. I mean, great chat today. Thank you. And I really appreciate your time. What's next for you? Where do you want to go next? So
for me, it's the age-old thing of balance, right? So now you get to this point of, okay, how does this continue into 2022, 23, 24? So how can I have the stability of my salon, of this beautiful salon my partner made? Because that's really my rock. I want that to always be my rock. I want to bring people in to teach. I want to teach because I want to show off this thing that he's worked so hard to make. But how do I not burn out? And how do I become a Jack Howard, right? Like consistently be consistent and have longevity. So my biggest fear sometimes, and I've talked about it with my partner, is running out of ideas, but running out of inspiration. And I don't have to make a problem out of nothing, right? So there's not a problem right now.
No.
Be in the present, keep going, keep being consistent. And I think right now my trajectory is so like this right now, that I have to see what I'm doing, where it takes me, because it's working. Yeah, I think that we all have to be able to pivot, and we all have moments when we go like this, and then there are moments when it's like this. Sometimes we could even put ourselves in this position, right? But what we want to be is kind of here with those moments in there, because you can't always be like that because it's too hard, but you definitely want to go like that, and the ups and downs, and the pivoting is important. But I love the fact that you want to do some education. I
more
want to do
education.
online. I want to do online too, because I've had some people reach out to me from different areas in Canada, and they're like, "Would you do online?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." And I do want to do some in person because it's such a beautiful space. But something that you did say reminded me of something that, do you know that Hair Magic Julie that won last year? I mean, this past year for warm balayage, the last category. She's incredibly talented, and she was here yesterday teaching. And she says she goes through seasons, these seasons of inspiration and
Yes.
seasons of just needing something different. And Hair by Danny also said the same thing. So I think it's you that you're saying that, you know, it goes up and down. So
I just came out of a winter, right? I came out of a winter where I was just sort of holding it together, and I feel like I'm in a spring again. So it's brilliant, right? It's really nice.
Your skin does look beautiful.
Got a filter on, don't worry.
Oh, I don't. I'm very shiny.
Carlos, you just make me laugh so much. You really do.
That's what gives me the glow. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to thank you so much for coming on today, for taking the time out of your busy day when you could be doing clients or making TikToks or making Instagram videos to come join us. So thank you so much for sharing your story too. A real inspiration in the fact that you entered the career at a later date, not as a youngster, and that you've done so well so far, so early in your career, right? You've got a long way to go, a long way ahead of you. So let's watch Carlos and see what happens. Thanks so much.
And thank you so much for being my Valentine's date.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for the diamonds.